Hi there, my name is Dina Falconi. I am an herbalist, educator, author of Foraging and Feasting and Earthly Bodies and Heavenly Hair. What is happening right now in the landscape? It is fall. It was actually mid-fall and it's getting quite cold here in the Hudson Valley of New York. But a plant that we normally think of as a springtime plant returns to us, and that is chickweed. And it is growing in the cracks, perhaps, of a step outside your door. So, chickweed's gifts. Let's discuss what's amazing about chickweed. We have a superfood in our midst. What does that mean? It's full of nutrients. It's got vitamin C, high levels of beta carotene. It's rich in minerals. The minerals are calcium, iron, magnesium, and more. So we have this powerhouse of nutrients in a wild and free form. And we also have something that is considered cooling, soothing. So we have a plant that's used topically for irritated skin situations like eczema. It's also used internally for heated conditions. So it's got just so many talents. But here I really am focusing on the food part of chickweed, and that's how I relate to it more in my life. And it is a celebratory moment here in the fall where chickweed is back in full swing. It's been actually with us for a few weeks. And we can bring that flavor. And what is that flavor? Let's discuss the flavor profile. It is a very mild, green, rich, chlorophyll-rich flavor. It's not bitter. It's not aromatic. And it is, what else to say? It is useful in salad, so you can just eat it raw, throw it into a big salad, or use it as the primary ingredient in a salad. Also, you can tuck it into sandwiches, and if you were to cook it, you would add it at the end of the soup or stew or saute that you're cooking. So it would be just tossed in at the very end. What else to say about it? So where would you find this gem of a food? It is going to be growing in rich, moist, fertile soil where humans have been most likely disturbing the area. So that's gardens, or in zones like this along this rock wall. I'm going to show you it in a moment. So you're going to find it in rich fields and gardens and meadows. In anthropogenic sites. That's where humans are engaging with the soil. What's amazing about chickweed's seed is that that seed stays dormant and viable, some say, for over 40 or 50 years. So that's pretty incredible. So when the soil gets disturbed, it tosses up chickweed seeds. And there we get an amazing, potent food, free and wild, from Mother Earth. Okay. Back to habitat. I got carried away there, but back to habitat. So you're going to look for it in sun to part shade conditions. So that could be tucked under a tree or under a bush. So look for chickweed in those places. What else about the habitat? It is a USDA growing zone 3 to 9. So you're going to find it in that range, and it grows throughout the temperate zones of the world. It is native to Europe, and it is considered a hardy annual. What does that mean? Is that it only has 1 year of life, but it's successful in the cold times of year. So we're going to have it now. We've already had several hard frosts, and it lives through those frosts, and actually it will be with us until snow covers the soil, and then when the snow melts, it'll be right there underneath, and then we'll be able to forage for chickweed all the way through, let me think about this, probably early summer here, maybe could be June in our area, maybe even July. And then when the heat of summer arrives, chickweed dies. So it's over, and then it returns to us with the moist, cool weather of fall. So here we are in that moment, and let's get you into ID. Let's go into the macro so you know how to identify chickweed. Here you can see that it's seeding itself along this rich edge of the stone wall, and you can just get a sense of what it looks like. This is a plant that does not like to grow very tall. It does not have a strong central stem, so it's something that tends to clump and form mats. So you're not going to see a tall version of this. The stem stays prostrate, and it's considered a matter, a clumper. You know, it creates mounds. Let's give you some more ID details. Let's pick a couple of these sprigs so we can really key it out for you. I've placed the chickweed sprigs on a ruler so you can see its dimensions, it's a pretty small leaved plant. It can be a little bigger than our specimen here. Let's look at leaf arrangement so you can see that the leaves are opposite. So they grow opposite. And they are on a leaf petiole or a leaf stalk. You can see that right here. When you move further up the plant here, there are some sessile leaves, so that sometimes you're not going to see a stalk, but generally you're going to see a stalk. And then let's talk about that leaf shape. So how would you describe the leaf shape? Spade-like, maybe heart-like or eggy. So, and it has a nice little pointy tip there, so you can see those pointy tips. And if you look at the leaf margin, so you look at the edge, you can see that there are no teeth. It is considered entire. And what else to say about this? So if we were to break this, which I'm going to do for you right now, I'm going to break it open, and you're going to see that there is no white juice exuding, no white milky latex. So you want to make sure when you break chickweed open that you don't see any white latex. What else to say about it? So along the leaf petiole, I'd like you to be able to see these very fine hairs, a little bit of hair activity there. Actually, I'm going to bring you up to the light so you can check this out. Right here, you can see the marginal leaf hairs on the leaf stalk and perhaps a little on the base of the leaf there. And then you can see this fine row of hairs here on the main stem. Great, so you're always going to be looking for that little pubescent line of hairs between the nodes, and then it alternates up the next node. So you're looking for that fine hair as a chickweed ID clue. So what else to think about when it's in flower? It's a 5-petaled white flower that has this really deep cleft that makes it look like it has 10 petals, but in fact it's only 5. But that's not here right now. Let's talk about flavor, right? Remember I mentioned it before, but that's part of ID. So this is going to be a bland, mild, green, chlorophyll-rich tasting. If it's highly aromatic, if it's bitter, then you don't have chickweed. And then also its odor is also very mild. It's not very aromatic. Again, it's more spinachy if you were going to think about a vegetable analog in terms of odor. And lastly, let's just consider how you harvest it. And what I have here are these, so you can eat all the tender above ground parts that still are vibrant and juicy. So once that center stem becomes stringy, you don't want it anymore. Once this goes to seed and dries out, you don't want it anymore. So you want chickweed when it looks vibrant, when it looks green and luscious. That's what you're looking for, like what we have right here, like what's happening in the landscape right now. And then you would eat the whole thing. You can eat the stems. If they're tender, you eat the stems and then also the leaves. Succulent, green, above ground, juicy parts is what you're after. So may you find chickweed growing outside your door, and may it enrich your life as we spin into winter and grab some of this nutrient-dense green wildness that's still there for us. And if you've enjoyed this and you'd like more, check out my online course, Wild Food Health Boosters and Herbal Remedies, at wildfoodhealthboosters.com. See you next time.